I'm happy to call Gabby our friend.
I still feel the challenge of being a parent now in today's world is immense. I think that you need support.
Es un gran apoyo para nuevos padres y más aún si están en nuestra situación, que somos extranjeros, que nuestra familia y amigos, como dice Carla, están en otro país, lejos. Entonces sí, viene muy bien el programa para apoyarse tanto emocional y como anímicamente y bueno, en varios aspectos del programa que nos ayuda a seguir adelante con esta nueva aventura.
Don't be afraid to take that step. Like, don't be afraid to get help. Because, you know, you might think that you know what you're doing, but it's always okay to have extra support, and don't do it alone.
Give it a try. You got nothing to lose. It's free. I'm grateful that I took advantage because it's something that has put me in touch with my child, or closer to my child and her development.
Personally, I think everybody could benefit from the home visiting programs.
I think that as a parent now, I'm grateful for support more than I was before.
I filled out that form not knowing what I was doing. I am very, very grateful that I did it because it's really helping me a lot.
Bueno, creo que por mi parte esperaba algo totalmente diferente, como un programa más frío, por decir algo, no tan cercano a la familia. Y a través del programa nos hemos dado cuenta que también pasa a ser una familia con nosotros porque nos apoya en los momentos difíciles o cuando nos hemos visto en dificultades.
Well, I was a new mom.
I'd like to call the Mendocino LAFCO meeting to order for May 5th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. and invite a roll call.
Thank you and good morning. Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Commissioner Klein. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Present.
Commissioner Horsley.
Here.
Commissioner Mahoney.
Here.
Commissioner Roden.
Here.
Commissioner Crane. Commissioner Hashik. Commissioner Zakaria. And Chair Mulhern.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. We will now move on to public expression. The commission welcomes participation in the LAFCO meeting. Any person may address the commission on any subject within the jurisdiction of LAFCO which is not on the agenda. There's a 3-minute limit and no action will be taken at this meeting. Are there any members of the public on Zoom that have their hands raised?
None.
Okay, we have no members of the public present in the room, so we'll move on to item number 4, the consent calendar. This includes the April 7th, 2025 regular meeting summary, as well as the April claims and financial report. Are there any commissioners that have questions?
No, also moved on the minutes and the financial report. I would like to say that the minutes are very good. Thank you. They're easy to read and you cover everything. I thank you.
I'll second.
That's Ward and Gonzalez. Thank you. And Commissioner Horsley.
I would just like to add, it's so nice to see some explanations in the minutes versus just the motions. It really helps later on if you go back and able to read that and go, oh yes, I remember that now. Otherwise, it's just, there's no way you can go back and figure it out. So thank you.
Thank you for that feedback.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 5A, the Westport County.
I need a vote.
I was in a hurry. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Roden? Commissioner Mahoney? Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Chair Mulhern?
Yes. Okay, now we can move on to item number 5A, the Westport County Water District Municipal Service Review and Sphere of Influence Update. Analyst Crump, will you be taking this one?
Good morning. Yes, I will be. I actually just want to note that I'm having some trouble viewing the video stream. Oh, actually, never mind. I can see it. Let's see. All right, so this is the public hearing for the Westport County Water District Municipal Service Review and Sphere of Influence Update. We had a public workshop on this item in April, and this is the time for consideration of the document for formal adoption. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. Westport County Water District was formed on January 4th, 1971. The district boundary spans approximately 235 acres within and north of the coastal community of Westport in the unincorporated area of Mendocino County. The services provided include water supply and treatment and wastewater collection, treatment, and disposal. The district provides water service to approximately 72 customers and wastewater service to 70 customers, and includes outside agency water service to Westport Beach RV Park and Campground and to a single-family residence, both located adjacent to the district's northern boundary west of State Highway 1. And there are approximately 89 permanent residents with seasonal fluctuations throughout the year. Next slide, please. This public hearing is to consider the public testimony and proposed adoption of the Westport County Water District Municipal Service Review and Sphere of Influence Update. The item starts on page 22 of your agenda packet. There is a list of revisions requested at the April workshop that are in the staff report on page 23. The Municipal Service Review determinations are on page 69, and the Sphere of Influence determinations are on page 77. Next slide, please. The proposed sphere of influence for the Westport County Water District is to affirm the 2015 sphere that is coterminous with the district boundary and includes a water service specific sphere of influence consisting of 2 Westport Beach RV Park and Campground parcels, and updating the sphere of influence to include 1 parcel developed with a single family residence and an existing district water service connection into the water service specific sphere of influence adopted by the Commission in 2015, finding that there are adequate water and wastewater services for the current service area, and the district does not have any outside agency areas that have been identified for services within the planning horizon of this document. Next slide, please. And I'd like to point out that the parcel proposed for inclusion in the water service specific sphere is directly west of and adjacent to the Westport Beach RV Park and Campground. Next slide, please. There was a 21-day public hearing notice that was properly published, posted, and distributed on April 10th. Proof of publication is in your agenda packet on page 115. We have received no public comments to date, and the municipal service review and sphere of influence update are exempt from further review under CEQA, and the notice of exemption is included on page 114 of your agenda packet. Next slide. The recommendations today are to find the Westport County Water District Municipal Service Review categorically exempt from CEQA, and find that the sphere of influence update is exempt from CEQA pursuant to 15061B3, and approve the notice of exemption for filing, and adopt resolution number 2024-25-14, approving the Westport County Water District Municipal Service Review and sphere of influence update, affirming the 2015 sphere of influence that is coterminous with the district boundary and includes a water service specific sphere of influence consisting of 2 Westport Beach RV Park and Campground parcels, and including 1 parcel developed of a single family residence, an existing district water service connection into the water service specific sphere of influence adopted by the Commission in 2015. Next slide, please. And staff would like to acknowledge and thank the Westport County Water District Operations Manager and Chief Plant Operator, John Morrill, and Administrator Financial Controller, Kayla Cooper, for their time and assistance with developing the Municipal Service Review and Sphere of Influence update. This concludes our presentation, and staff are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Okay, are there any highlight questions? Commissioner Roden.
Yes, thanks. What's the history of that one parcel with the single family residence? It had been receiving services but wasn't in the sphere. I don't know, could you explain that history? I didn't see anything about it. I mean, maybe you had written about it, but I missed that. So.
Yes, so the parcel was previously owned by the campground. That is also in the outside agency service area. And in 2013, it was sold to an individual, and the parcel is developed with a single family residence with no other development. And the parcel was already receiving water service when it was under the ownership of the campground. It seems that during this MSR process, we were able to identify that it was when we were talking with the district on what if they had any parcels that were receiving outside agency water service, that one was identified. And so we recommend including it into the water service specific SOI, which was adopted in 2015 and includes the campground.
Thanks. So it's more of a cleanup. We're making things, clean. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
Commissioner Ward.
Thank you. I think it was discussed last month about the fully depreciated assets. Was there any discussion with management how they're going to replace those assets? They're fully depreciated.
Yes, thank you for your question. Since the workshop draft, there hasn't been further discussion on that, but we can certainly follow up with the district and either provide an update on that information to the commission.
Also discussed too was there's a reserve account, I believe about $30,000, and on their financials it's still included in cash. It should be separated out as cash reserves. And then the third question was there's an Appendix D, the regional housing need assessment. Seems like that's in each one of our MSRs. Is that different for each MSR, I think it's different. I tried to look at the differences, but why do we have those in there? Is that a requirement in the law?
Yes, it is. And you know him, and if you want to add anything to that as well.
Commissioner Ward, can you please clarify which section you're speaking of?
I'm talking on page 93. Mendocino County RHNA allocations. I just find it a little what the relationship is to that, to our MSR.
We do include this in all of our MSRs related to the just an overall discussion of legislation. It's always in the appendix, so we include it for discussion of like the MCOG numbers and regional housing needs, just as background information that's consistent.
Well, it doesn't apply to just the Westport Water District, then it applies to the county.
Correct.
Okay, so they should be the same in each one MSR?
Correct, unless there's been an update in between MSRs, but yes.
Because I tried to look at the one, our next item is the Russian River, and it seemed you had the same thing, but it looked like it had different numbers. That's why this question is. Probably, yeah. And my last question is, I was reviewing the Russian River, and those employees receive PERS for their pension, and it's the first time I've seen that. Like Westport doesn't have PERS, or some of the other districts. Is it just the Russian River?
Well,
Your microphone's not.
Sorry, I think Brook Trails, I think, has PERS, and I believe there may be some other special districts that have PERS. It's really up to the district, right?
Is it up to the district? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because that was the first one I've seen, and we'll discuss it the next item, but I didn't know why Westport, they have a full-time employee too, just like Russian River, why they wouldn't elect to have PERS instead. So.
Because it's
Was that all of your questions?
That's all my questions.
Okay, Commissioner Gonzalez?
Not so much related to this. Sorry. Not so much related to this MSR, but I noticed we have a lot of organizations that meet remotely still. And we make note of it in our MSRs, but is there anybody that comes around and smacks them for continuing to do that, or is it just we noted and move on and no one from the state or anybody ever calls them on it? I'm just curious. They're meeting remotely, and I'm just curious if anybody, is there somebody comes around from the state and says bad person or bad group for doing this and you henceforth have to change? Or do we just note it and move on, say, hey, you need to review the Brown Act, and we move on? Just curious. Have you ever heard of any entity being sanctioned by the state for continuing to meet remotely?
I'm not sure if that's a director question or an analyst question. I also see that our counsel, Marcia Birch, has come on the screen.
So I guess I'll respond by saying I haven't heard of any specific actions being taken by the state. You know, I think it's similar to any other violation of the Brown Act, which essentially it is. It would be something that would be raised by a member of the public oftentimes. Of course, the public has a right of action under the Brown Act to enforce its requirements. Every now and then the Attorney General will get involved. I think when you say, you know, is the state doing something? You know, for a larger, more visible public agency that's violating the Brown Act, sometimes the Attorney General does get involved. I think it's just a question of, you know, where the LAFCO Commission sees its role with respect to this issue. You know, if it's something that you feel, you know, you would want to, you know, raise to that level. Sometimes the grand jury in a particular jurisdiction will investigate those kinds of violations.
And again, I wasn't so much calling it out for this particular group. I think in some groups, they're probably struggling to get commissioners or board members, and the fact they can meet remotely probably helps them out. But I was just curious if, we're setting landmines for whoever to come by later on and say, heck, you're going to get in trouble because LAFCO tagged you.
Right. Well, I think, it's something that we include in the report, because it is factual. And, what happens from there, I think, again, it's going to depend on the individual circumstances.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I don't see us becoming a watchdog on that.
No.
Okay. I don't see any other pins up. Is there anyone online that has questions, or anybody from Westport Water District?
There are no comments online.
Okay. Then I would be looking for a motion. Commissioner Roden?
Just going to grant your request. I move the 2 recommended actions.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. That was Commissioner Roden and Commissioner Gonzalez. And if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley? Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
And Chair Mulhern?
Yes.
Unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we can move on to item 5B, the Mendocino County Russian River Flood Control and Water Conservation District Municipal Service Review and Sphere of Influence Update. Is this EO Hinman or Analyst Crump?
I will be presenting this one. So this is the public hearing for Russian River Flood Control and Water Conservation Improvement District. As a reminder, a municipal service review is a study of a local agency's governance and operations and provides an inventory and analysis of an agency's services. They are required prior to or in conjunction with sphere of influence updates, and this is the 3rd round MSR for the district. The sphere of influence update portion identifies the plan for the probable future boundary and service area of an agency as it is adopted by the Commission, and the current sphere of influence was last adopted in 2017. As far as process, the Commission held a public workshop on April 7th and received comments and direction for revisions of the draft study. The list of revisions made since the workshop is included on page 117 of your agenda packet. The MSR determinations are on page 155, and the sphere determinations are on page 163. Today, the Commission will consider the public testimony and the proposed adoption of the MSR sphere update. As background, the district was formed under special legislation in 1955 for the purpose of being a local sponsor for development of Coyote Dam and Lake Mendocino in conjunction with Sonoma Water. It is approximately 51,000 acres in size, and it provides raw water supply to, 52 agricultural, 52 agricultural customers and 7 municipal water customers. The district is quite large to the north. The northern boundary of the district is around Highway 20, with the southern end being just north of the county border. To the east and west, it is generally the extent of the Ukiah Valley to the county line with Lake County. The sphere of influence, that is the sphere of influence. The sphere of influence is essentially the Russian River watershed. To the north, it goes to the top of Ridgewood Grade, just the side of Willits, and to the south and east, it follows the county border. The primary water supply is from Lake Mendocino, where they have rights to 7,940 acre-feet annually. Their water supply contractors are shown on this map and include Calpella County Water District, Millview and Willow County Water Districts, as well as Hopland Public Utilities District, and several mutual water companies, Rogina, River Estates Mutual, Henry Station Mutual. As a reminder, they do have a proposed boundary change that will be coming before the Commission in the coming months to annex the remainder of the Redwood Valley County Water District so that they may enter into direct contract for water with Russian River. The Redwood Valley County Water District is located within the Russian River Flood Control District's place of use, but not currently within the boundary. It's also located within the current sphere of influence. The proposed sphere of influence, there's no change recommended to the existing sphere of influence, finding that they do have adequate water services for their existing place of use, and that the proposed boundary change area is already located within the existing sphere of influence. The Russian River Flood Control District's MSR and sphere update is exempt from CEQA, and the notice of exemption is included as in attachment 3 of your agenda packet, which is on page 224. The 21-day public hearing notice was properly published, posted, and distributed on April 10th, and no public comments have been received to date. The recommendations are included in your agenda packet in the staff report on page 116, and includes adoption of Resolution 2024-25-15 approving the MSR sphere update. We want to thank Beth Salamone, who's the general manager, as well as the district's ad hoc committee for their assistance with preparation of this study. And I believe Beth is available by Zoom to answer questions.
Thank you. Are there any commissioners that have questions for Beth or for E.O. Hinman? Commissioner Ward.
So I'm looking at the salaries. Excuse me. There's a general manager, and then there was contracts with engineers, accounting, and legal. Is the county the contracts under general administration, or are they included in salaries?
Good morning, everyone. I'll just, if I may, through the chair, the consultants are listed separately. Employees and personnel, that's purely the actual employees.
And how many employees are there?
Just me, just one.
So it's about 187,000 for that one employee, and then another 187 for your contracts.
And I will just say, I don't make 187,000.
Well, that's with
that
benefits.
includes
That's
all
with
of
benefits.
the costs for personnel, like taxes and all that sort of thing.
Okay, so there's one employee, thank you. And then the contracts are under general administrative. That's all I have, thanks.
Yeah. And just while I have the floor, I will say I did follow up on, I think it was Commissioner Ward's question last month regarding rate setting and Prop 218, and why this district is not required to follow Proposition 218. And it is because, unlike a retailer such as the City of Ukiah or Willow or another water district, we have contracts with our customers. We have an actual contract that they sign with a term, and which can be found on our website. And that is why the board can set rates annually.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Okay, thank you. Would anybody like to make a motion? We have a recommended.
Do we open it up for public comment?
We did. There are none.
Okay. And I would like to move staff recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. That was Gonzalez and Klein. Move the recommended action. And roll call, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
And Chair Mulhern?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we can move on to item 5C, the final budget and work program for fiscal year 25-26. The commission will hold a public hearing to consider the final budget and work program for fiscal year 25-26. E.O. Hinman.
Thank you. I'll start with a brief overview of the budget development process. As a reminder, the budget development process starts in February with staff preparing a preliminary budget, which is reviewed by the executive committee in March, We did hold that public meeting on March 19th, where a recommendation was developed for the commission consideration. The commission considered the proposed budget on April 7th and adopted the budget and work program, which was distributed to agencies as required under the state law. The public hearing for the final budget and work program is today. It was properly noticed. Today, upon adoption, it will be distributed to agencies and the auditor controller. The expenditures identified in the final budget include basic services, which consists of our staffing. It's currently an executive officer, a senior analyst, and a clerk analyst. Services and supplies, which is our organization's operations. Office equipment, professional services, including GIS and IT for our meetings, and any training for commissioners and staff. The work plan consists of the prioritized MSR and Sphere updates for the year. And applications are included as an expenditure. They are reimbursed. We do have a number of anticipated applications in higher reorganization, the Russian River Flood Control District annexation, and the Willett Sphere of Influence Amendment. The graphic at the bottom shows a general percentage breakdown between the expenditures. For the work plan, what's been proposed is to complete the studies that are in progress this fiscal year, which includes the City of Willits, Point Arena, and the Laytonville County Water District, as well as the Mendocino Coast Recreation and Park District, which is being conducted through a funding MOU with the district. Initiated in fiscal year 25-26 would be a multi-year county-wide fire and emergency medical service providers MSR and Sphere update, which includes 18 agencies. Also, potentially the preparation of the Mendocino Coast Healthcare District MSR, if we can develop a funding MOU with that district. For revenue, we use unutilized cash balance from this current fiscal year to help balance the budget and keep apportionments low in the next fiscal year. Apportionments do make up the majority of our revenue. The number is established with the adoption of the budget, and then the auditor controller applies a state formula, which is based on a 1/3 equal split between the counties, cities, and the special districts. We also have service fee revenue, which is reimbursed through our reimbursable services, which is essentially our application processing. Additionally, we have interest from our bank accounts and through the county treasurer. Again, at the bottom is a general breakdown of the categories for revenue. Our revenues and reserved and unreserved funds consists of $50,000 in legal reserves, approximately $86,500 in operations reserves. The increase in the operations reserved is simply from the increase in interest in that account. The work plan contingency would be approximately $35,000, and the unreserved cash balance at the end of the year would be approximately $16,000 to apply to the next fiscal year. Based on the commission feedback at our last meeting, we did develop two options. The first option you'll notice is the proposed budget as it was adopted at the last meeting and distributed to the member agencies. Option 2 is an adjustment to include the reduced audit fees, audit rate, the budget line for the audit, and that is based on using the existing CPA. So that dropped it from $8,000 down to $4,500 was the estimate we received from Mr. Paling. So that adjusted the budget down to $328,500, and so we did a slight increase in the anticipated use of cash balance, and then we also increased the anticipated revenue from fees through our applications, which we do anticipate receiving a number of applications this year. So in doing so, that would reduce the apportionments required from $285,000 to $275,000, which is consistent with the last 2 years' apportionment. So in summary, the option 1 adopted proposed budget and work program was $332,000, and option 2 is a slight reduction to $328,500. The changes in revenue would be through the cash balance, increased miscellaneous revenue through our fees, and a slightly reduced LAFCO apportionment to remain consistent with this fiscal year. So in summary, the commission is asked to select an option or as modified, and then adopt resolution 24-2516, approving the final budget and work program for next fiscal year, and then directing the executive officer to transmit the final budget and work program to the member agencies and others as required. No public comments have been received prior to the meeting, and that completes my presentation.
Thank you. Commissioner Horsley.
Well, I've got to say this is probably the first time that I've been really pleased to read about a budget. And I really appreciate the work you put into this, and especially option 2, having the apportionments remain the same is really good to see. So I just had one little question, and it's really nothing, but you mentioned, this is page 227. You mentioned that in the first paragraph under the table, that at the end of the current fiscal year, approximately 35,000 to 35,500 would reduce the increases to apportionments. And I noticed you did put the 35,500 up in the budget itself. So you feel, is it that $500 just so small, if it doesn't get there, you feel like it would still be okay to put that number there versus the 35,000?
The change comes in what's allocated for the work plan contingency. So the $500 was bumped up from the work plan contingency to use of cash balance for next fiscal year in order to keep that apportionment at 275.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward.
Yeah, thank you. The apportionment fees, I can't remember where I saw it, but there was, I think the districts are not fully funded yet. There's a little bit still left over that needs to be collected from the auditor.
Oh, correct. There are two, and I have notified the auditor that that is the case. There are two special districts that have not yet paid for the apportionments for this year.
Yeah, they usually pull that out pretty early, so I'm surprised it's late. So, but you do have that information. That's good. With regard to the budget, the $18,000 under option 2 and $12,000 under option 1, those are basically application fees, right? But typically you have application costs down below because you're showing the revenue, but you're not showing the expenses.
The revenue that is listed under fees, reimbursement and interest is just the revenue that would come in minus the contractor fees applied to.
So that's extra revenue, not where does the expenses show up in your applications? In the previous budget, you used to show that. That's all I'm bringing up.
We can add that. It's zeroed out.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yes.
I just wanted to make that clarification. And what was your discussions up above? You were to contact the Mendocino Coast Health District and the City of Point Arena, and you were going to give a report on those. What's the update on those?
Yes, thank you. I did meet with the City of Point Arena last week, and they are ready to move forward with preparation of an MSR sphere update. Their staff is prepared to assist us with information requests, and their current interim city manager would be available to assist us, as well as Mr. Anderson, deputy interim, I think.
So we're moving forward, and that's about $20,000 in our work plan costs.
Correct.
And what about the health district?
I have
Healthcare district.
I was able to connect with the healthcare district staff, and they have requested that we provide an MOU for their board to consider. So we'll be working with Marcia to develop an MOU for their consideration, and then we'll start that negotiation, and it would come before the commission for approval.
So we've got 23,000, I think, earmarked for that, which is included in the $100,000 for the budget, for the work plan, excuse me. So if we are successful in that MOU and receiving that money, where's the additional 20, where are you going to put the 23,000 in? To keep it up to 100,000.
What has initially been proposed by the healthcare district staff is a reimbursement for the MOU over a period of years. So we would be contracting out to have that MSR completed, and we would need to pay for that up front. So it would be reimbursed over time after that. That's what's proposed at this time, and it will, of course,
interest?
Come to the commission for consideration.
At least they're paying for it.
Yeah. All right, well, that wasn't the original intent when we met with them, but I guess we don't have any control over it. But they offered to do that, put money up front, and here they are balking again. Anyway, I want them to start paying apportionment fees too. That's all I have, thanks.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Are there any hands raised online?
Are no hands raised online.
Thank you. Staff did include a recommendation for a motion in our agenda packet.
So moved.
Thank you.
Selecting an option.
Oh, which option?
Option 2.
Thank you.
Second. Option 2.
Thank you. That was option 2, Horsley and Roden. And if we could have a roll call, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward.
Yes, thank you for taking option 2.
Commissioner Klein.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley. Commissioner Mahoney.
Yes.
Commissioner Roden.
Yes.
And Chair Mulhern.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we do not have any workshop items today, and there are no matters for discussion, so we can move on to item number 8, the information and report items. E.O. Hinman, you take many of these, so we can get started with the work plan, current and future proposals.
Yes.
8A.
Thank you. We did receive a pre-application request from the City of Ukiah along with a deposit to begin coordinating with city staff regarding the Ukiah application for reorganization. The city's proposal includes annexations to the north, east, and south of the city, including all of the Willow County Water District's territory and portions of the Ukiah Valley Sanitation District and Millview County Water District, as well as a sphere amendment to include that portion of the Willow County Water District that is not already within the city sphere. Additionally, the proposed annexations will meet the thresholds for reorganizing Ukiah Valley Sanitation District and the Millview County Water District as subsidiary districts of the city. The application is anticipated to be submitted in late July or early August of this year. Also, as already noted, I did meet with Point Arena City staff last week, and they are ready to proceed with their MSR sphere update. They do have updated financial audits, and staff are available to assist with the information requests. We have initiated the City of Willits MSR, which was approved by the commission at the last meeting, and we will be working with Willits City staff to update that in advance of their sphere amendment application. Those are the only updates I have, unless there are questions.
Do any commissioners have questions? Commissioner Roden?
How come Willits and you just mentioned one other aren't in attachment 1, the summary table? You mentioned Ukiah and its pre-application, and then you mentioned Point Arena, and neither Point Arena nor Willits are in that table. I'm just curious.
Willits is under future proposals.
Oh, I didn't.
And then,
okay, where's Point Arena?
And then for the work plan on attachment 2, Willits is at the bottom of the current work plan.
Okay.
Although you're correct, Point Arena is not yet in there, and we will add that. Thank you.
I want to express appreciation for the way that you're convey information graphically. Like, I thought I saw two new ways of presenting information. You have that bar and the proportion of revenues and apportionment. I thought that was really great and useful way to visualize. And then there was another one, it was the reserves and how you block the reserves up. And so thanks for taking the time to do that. It was really helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what reminded me was this attachment 2 summary table and how the MSRs that aren't complete yet are black, and the other ones are grayed out, so it's easy to see which ones are left to do, and also to see how much you've accomplished, or we've all accomplished, so it's great.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yeah, Potter Valley Irrigation District, is that coming next month? Or do we have anything it's done, it just has to be finalized by staff?
Correct. It's we are refining the, I think there was one thing we needed to follow up on after the public hearing before we finalize that study, and we're waiting for that information from them.
I know I'm going to be asked about that, so I want to thank you.
Hopefully this week we'll have it finalized. I'll be sure to send it to you.
Okay.
Thank you. E.O. Hinman, do you have anything else to add?
Nothing to add.
Okay, great. Was any correspondence received? Item 8B.
None.
Okay, item 8C, the CALAFCO Business and Legislative Report.
Yes, thank you. Included in your packet is the legislative report from CALAFCO. This has been missing for quite a few months now, but with the new interim staff, they've brought it back. It does identify and include the status of legislation of interest to LAFCOs, and we typically receive requests from CALAFCO for support or opposition letters as needed. There are no requests pending at this time, so this is just an informational report that's included in your packet. I will be attending the Northern Region CALAFCO meeting in Reading on May 15th. It's an all-day facilitated meeting of our Northern Region LAFCOs to generate recommendations and feedback to help improve CALAFCO as an organization and to better serve their members. Commissioners and staff are invited to attend, so if there are any commissioners that would like to attend, please let me know as soon as possible. By the end of this week would be great. They're trying to get a head count. Also, our analyst, Jen Crump, attended the CALAFCO staff workshop in Temecula last week. Also, I wanted to note that Jesse Davis, who is the Ukiah Chief Planning Manager, was a panelist on one of the sessions on balancing growth with ag preservation, and I heard it went really well. That's all I have for this item.
Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none. The executive officer's verbal report, item 8D.
Yes, thank you. It was brought to our attention that the Elk County Water District that was a MSR sphere update that was adopted last month had an incorrect statement regarding ownership of 2 parcels within the district that contain septic field easements for a number of parcels along the Highway 1 in Elk itself. We have administratively corrected the study to clarify that the Elk Community Services District does not own those 2 parcels, and so the mention in that section was related to services provided by other agencies in the area and was not determined to be of a great importance to the Elk Community or Elk County Water District. So we did administratively correct that, and we will be posting the new version online. Also, the special district alternate member election, we did not receive a quorum of ballots by the deadline of April 30th, so that is extended automatically at minimum 60 days. I'll be sending those notices out today. For an election to be valid, we have to receive at minimum 25 ballots, and we received 15. The new deadline will be July 9th at noon. And finally, I'm happy to report we completed a comprehensive overhaul of our application forms, and they're all now posted on our website. This was a really big effort that required a lot of outreach and research and coordination with the county surveyor and GIS manager regarding appropriate mapping details. as well as the Board of Equalization. So happy to report that that is done. That was included on our work program for this fiscal year. And that's all I have unless there are questions.
Commissioner Ward?
What happens when we don't get the 25 ballots in the future?
It continues.
Just keeps going on and on and on?
Yes.
Man. It's like electing the Pope.
Yeah.
So we don't have any control, or like we can't just pick our own person after 22 times?
It automatically goes, renew, or extends the deadline a minimum of 60 days each time.
Okay, and that's cost to us, correct? It's your staff time.
Commissioner Roden?
Do you send out, when you send the ballots, do you explain, like, districts, we really need you to vote, we only got 15, we need 20, do you send them that?
We do, and
urging?
I also send out a reminder about midpoint, and then a reminder a month, or 6 weeks before.
Yeah, you could say this costs LAFCO money, and this might be reflected in an increase because we can. I'm just kidding.
In your apportionment fee.
Yeah, anyway.
Thank you for your report. Are there any committee reports? Commissioner Horsley?
I just want to say that the sanitation district is raising fees for the first time in 10 years. But it was a necessity, and we will have fee increases staggered out for the next 5 to 6 years, published.
Yep. Any other commissioners that have a report? Or committee report item? Okay. Seeing none, with that, the meeting is adjourned. June 2nd at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you.